to join. I'm trying to wait for others to join. Let's see if one person can join so that everybody will be carried along. Hope you've been following through all the classes, the logs.
No, I just joined this evening.
Okay. Please, there are some materials, there are some videos already. We have a YouTube channel. Just subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have some classes already ongoing. Subscribe to it. You know, watch those videos. It will have a way of preparing you. Do you have experience in IT?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I'm IT support.
IT support. Oh, okay, beautiful. Do you have experience in cloud? Do you have any knowledge in cloud? Have you been in cloud before? Have you been using cloud? Okay.
I've not used it, but I have idea what, especially that of Azure.
Okay.
I have idea. I read up a bit about it.
Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. So I want to be talking about cloud now. It's it's a simple thing. The cloud is the most easiest infrastructure. If you compare it to data center is cumbersome. Is that me? But if you compare cloud to data center, is the most easiest infrastructure to use. But it depends on who introduced you to it. Well, since we don't have, I think others will join us or they will watch the video. We just have to start. The time is already fast spent. Okay, give me like a minute. Let me launch. Okay. Do you have a cloud account?
AWS.
Yes, AWS.
No.
Okay. So for today, because it's better you follow through. It's better you do the practice with us as we learn, so that you will be following through. You know, this is, it can be so easy that you think you can do it until you're on your own, when nobody is there to watch you. You know, so there's a video in our website that you can follow through on how to open an account and set an MFA and how to set a CloudWatch. It's already there, so just try and follow through. Okay, today we are just going straight. Yeah, on YouTube, and also in that group. The link are in that group.
Okay.
Okay, I believe others will join us today. So we are just going to be talking, but tomorrow I want to launch server. So try and master it before tomorrow. So let's go straight to this class. So I mentioned you have to have your IAM account. I'm logging in through the IAM account because this IAM account, I have my MFA. Let me access my MFA. 519592. Mr. Siri. Mr. CY. Mr. CY. Okay. Mr. CY, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Beautiful. I hope you have MFA set up for your account.
That one tested
yeah. Okay,
positive.
Good.
And after that,
now I see the reason why you are on silent. I understand. Okay. When you are in AWS, this is an AWS environment. The first thing is a simple thing. Just go to EC2 instance. This EC2 instance. There is network. Let's go. You can just type VPC at the top corner there. But if you want to really get it right, you come to VPC under network and content delivery. Again, under network and content delivery, these are the lines. So VPC is here. CloudFront is another powerful thing. Route 53 is another powerful thing. API gateway is another. All these things. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but the screen I'm seeing is Amazon Kime. I don't know if you are displaying something else.
Oh, no wonder. Okay. Is it displaying now?
Yes, yes.
Beautiful. So when you log in, you go straight to network and content delivery. Under network and content delivery, you click VPC. So what do you mean by network and content delivery? If you have a content that you want the whole world to see, are you getting me? That content has the capacity to process information. Are you getting me? Like the difference between S3 bucket and server. People will ask me, why do you need to have a server? When S3 bucket, you can save something there and share it. S3 bucket does not have the capacity to process information. It does not have, it does not have compute. You know the meaning of compute now. It cannot process, it cannot calculate. Are you getting me? It cannot process, it cannot calculate, it cannot immediately you put information into it. It's like a normal storage, it's like a well of water. Are you getting me? So a well of water and a pot, you know, there are two different things. When you put water in the well, when you are dragging when you are fetching it, you are still going to fetch out water. You understand me? But when you put water in the pot, and you put something on top of it and you heat it up, when you bring out the water, it's no longer ordinary water. Are you getting me? It's going to either be a very steam water or food. So this content delivery, this everything here has the capacity to process, especially when you want to put something that people can access, that can be processed. Are you getting me? That's why that is the aspect of content delivery. So like the VPC is the network. Is that let's go to VPC. Then there's Cloud 53, there's Route 53, there's Cloud Front. All those things are very interesting, but let's take it one step at a time. Let's take this VPC first. So it's taking time to load because of network. Normally it's supposed to load straight. So it's called virtual private cloud. Understand me? This virtual private cloud, it has a subnet, it has a root table. Like this virtual private cloud is like a normal regular a way, that's a line that you want to connect, you want to prepare, so that in case you create your server, you can attach your server to that address, so that through that address people can access your server. You understand me? So this is the line that I was trying to explain. So when you click it, it will give you a wizard. A wizard is like an organized algorithm on how you can create something or launch something that helps you to launch something. That's a wizard. You know, that means not like normal wizard that we know in terms of witchcraft and wizardry. So this is a wizard. It's under an API, which is a VPC API. It's an application. So when I click create VPC, so it's going to ask me, what is the name am I going to call this VPC? What type of VPC am I creating? What type of block am I creating? Like, for example, now I want to create this VPC. I'll call it Cloud Enthusiast. Let me name it after our Cloud Enthusiast. Then it's asking me the CIDR block. Remember, I explained to you in that group, and I explained to all of us in that group that when you are creating a IPv4, there are only three certified network table that is allocated to you to create. That does not mean I cannot create any other one. Are you getting me? And you can create the mail. We have so many types. We have the one that is the complete one. We have the one that has strokes 24. No, it's like dividing different network into place. For example, now I'm using, let's use 10.0.0. 10.0.0, let's say .0 again, or maybe .1. Then I say slash. I'm dividing it because it's too big for what we want to use. But let me divide it into 16. It can work. So I'll send you the documentation why we say 16. Time will not permit me to do that now. Are you getting me? Time will not permit me to explain that. If I explain that, we will not go anywhere. We will not able to do anything today. But I will send you a documentation on it so that you can understand why. So let's say we are dividing it into 16. This is the CIDR block. This is the IP address given to us. But we are dividing this thing into 16. The tenancy means where, my dear, we are using default. If you say dedicated, it means that you are telling them that that place, you don't want anybody to near it. They are going to create it for you. It's expensive. Use default, which is the standard. Are you hearing me? Then you say create VPC. It has been created. Is it hard? It's not hard. The VPC have been created for you. But this VPC, this is the VPC, this is the virtual network 10.0.0.0/16. Meaning we are divided into /16. We have /8, we have /16 CIDR block, we have /24 CIDR block, we have /32 CIDR block. So this /16 now we can divide it into almost 255 parts. But when you're not dividing that /16, will now become /24. You understand me? If you are dividing /24, you now become /32. You understand me? That is it. That's how you divide. So we are. This is the VPC given to you. You understand? So if we are creating a subnet out of it, it's as easy as this. You have created a VPC. You understand me? You have created a VPC. This is the one that came with it. This is a default one. You see, this default one has 172.31. I get me. This is a class B. This is a class B CIDR block VPC. The one we created is class A. You know what I mean? This is class A, 10 dots. But we can also create 20. Look at it. Let's see if 20 will go. It will still fly. Let's say Cloud Enthusiast. Cloud Enthusiast 2. They will now come here. The CIDR block. The CIDR block will now say 20.0.0.0/16. It will go. You understand me? But the truth is that when you launch a server using this IP address and is connected to the public, they can bring it down. Because you are already out of your league. It will fly, but it's not standard. This is how they will differentiate the expert. They're like, when they see your VPC CIDR block, they will know that this guy does not know what he's doing. He's playing. They will give you applaud. They will applaud you. At least you created the VPC, but you did not use the rule. Because that rule you just created have just defied everything. No matter what you do, you just spoiled everything. So either you use 10 dots, or use 172.31, or use 192.16 or something like that. I shared it now. So always keep that as your playbook. Always keep those 3 CIDR block as your playbook whenever you want to create VPC. Now that you are training, now that we are learning, it's better we learn with standard, you understand me, than when you become a pro, or when it's not time, you will not see yourself, you understand me. Learn, just let's master these 3 VPC CIDR block. Are you getting me? So that we will know that we will not be found wanting. The first one is 10.0. The second one is 172.16. While the third one is 192.168. That does not mean that if you want to create another CIDR block like the one we created now, it will not work. This 20.0.0/16 is already wrong. It's already wrong, but it will still fly. I can still divide it. They are going to assume that this thing I'm doing, I'm a government official, but which we are not, or we are a big, for example, the VPC for like the IP address for AWS is like this 20. Are you getting me? Because it's a big infrastructure. So 10 is okay. For telecom company, use 10. Let's create another one. I want you, this night, I want us to create as many as you can. Create and delete it. It doesn't cost much. I think it's almost free. So let's see another one. Let's say let's create another one. Let's create standard one. 192 dot 192 dot what? Can somebody contribute with me? Let's go together. Dot 168 dot, you can say dot 0 dot 1. This is 1 2 dot 1 dot 0 dot 1 dot 0. You can say dot 1 dot 0 to still fly /16. Okay, sorry, I'm putting it in the name. Come here, /16 to still fly. Let's call this Cloud Enthusiast Training. Default. Please take note. This place where I'm creating this VPC, take note where you are creating your VPC. Take note of the region. Because if I go to another region, I will not see this VPC. You know what I mean? If I click another region, I will not see this VPC. Because this VPC is only in this US North region. Are you getting me? This VPC is only in US North region. It's not, you cannot find this VPC in South Africa. If I go to South Africa now, those VPC we created, they will not be found there. So this VPC now, everything, all the data center, all the availability zone in that area. Okay, let's continue. I can do a subnet out of it. I can divide this 192.0. Let's continue. I don't want IPv4. Okay, let's create this. Okay, let's create VPC. Sorry. Most of it does 0.1. I think this one can carry 1. Let's see again. .0. Wait. 192.16.0.02. This one will go. It's not supposed to go. Okay. Now we have created 3 VPC. Okay, let's try something. Let's go to South Africa. I'm now in South Africa now. Let's go to South Africa. Let's see if this VPC we created is in South Africa. Sorry, the network is a bit slow. They will not be there. I'm very sure because a VPC is region based. If we are going to another region now, which is network, please give me, I think, let's see what happened. Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Are you with me? Hope I've not lost you guys.
Yes, yes.
Okay, you are with me. Okay.
I can hear you.
Beautiful. So let us check other region. If those VPC we created are there, I will recommend everybody to go on practical. Just go practical. Everybody just go and try this thing. I don't know why they're talking. I can hear you. Can you hear me now? Okay, beautiful. We still have 15 minutes to go. Let's try another region. I'm trying to go another region. Network is slow. So if we go to another region, you discover that those VPC that we created will not be there. But that VPC we created now is in one region. So it's not going to be in all the regions. Not like S3 bucket that we created S3 bucket. You can go to all regions.
Hello?
Sorry, network almost threw us off. But can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, the network almost threw us off. Let's continue. I think we are back. Okay. Now, as I was saying, we are now in South Africa. In Africa, I think the only place I think is only okay, it says VPC does not exist. We know unknown error occur when loading VPC. Oh, sorry. Right now in South Africa, so we don't want that VPC. Okay, now you see all the VPC we created. No, we don't have anyone here apart from the default VPC. This is a default VPC that they created for us. And this default VPC is a private network. It's under private network. It's under 172.31.00. This default is in all region. Are you getting me? They created it separately for all region. But if you come to where we created before, which is US East, you will see that all our VPC is there. So you must take note of this. Whenever you are creating, if you want to launch an instance in South Africa, don't go and create a VPC in West Virginia and expect to launch it to that instance. Immediately you create your VPC in West Virginia, it means that that is where all the people are going to connect to it. And if the server is supposed to be servicing Africa and you create this VPC in West Virginia, the latency is going to be very, very high. I told you what latency is. The distance it will take for you to connect to your server and return back. That time is going to be very, very high. So I always recommend, that's where solution architect comes in. You must understand where are they going to use it, how many people will be using it. You know, we'll tell you, we'll explain that. And breaking news, I want to be, by God's grace, we are going to be teaching DevOps. Are you getting me? By God's grace, I want to add DevOps to it, but it's going to be for a special class. DevOps, that is the key. That's what is. Don't worry, we'll get to that place. But let's talk about a little about infrastructure. So notice, anytime you want to create a VPC, the first thing will come to your mind. The content that you want to deliver, where is that content? Which location? That location is where you go to and create your virtual network, virtual private cloud. First of all, so this is it. So for our tomorrow class, we are going to be creating our VPC in South Africa because we are going to launch a server tomorrow. Are you getting me? We are launching a server tomorrow, and that server that we're launching tomorrow, we're going to launch it in a way that we can see. Because remember, we are told us that we have learned about serverless, meaning how to use serverless, something that you don't need to create server on. Now I want to be talking about things that you create server on. Then from there, we'll now come back home and do some literature again and see, go back to cloud. And you understand me? So let's continue. Let's divide this VPC. Although it's not the standard VPC, you go to Subnet. Are you getting me? Or you can either go to Subnet directly or you click the VPC. Let's say we click this one. Then you go to action. You understand me? You can say delete, create edit CIDR block. We're not going to create edit CIDR block. We're just going straight. Going here. Normally you are supposed to create a subnet. Okay. There would have been a way you can create subnet directly without going to subnet. Let's see if you can get the subnet here. Edit CIDR block, create manage DPC, manage tags. Okay. Let's go to subnet directly. Normally, if you are also creating subnet, they are going to ask you, which VPC are you dividing? Are you? These are my existing subnet. These ones are existing subnet. These ones are already existing. But now let's create a subnet for. You ask you, okay, you want to divide something. Which VPC? Which private cloud, virtual cloud, virtual private cloud you want to use? I will say, okay, we have Cloud Enthusiast 1, Cloud Enthusiast 2, Cloud Enthusiast 3. This is the one that came with default. So let's divide the standard one. We have two standard one. We have one that is not standard, but it can still be divided. All of them can be divided. You can pick any one. Now it's asking you, now what's the name of this subnet? Which name do you want to call it? Let's call it Cloud H2. You have to put an hyphen and say SB. Are you getting me? SBN. So that you will know that it's subnet. You understand me? Then the availability zone. Remember I told you availability zone means a region like this. It has so many in that region. That region is divided into so many availability zone. And that availability zone has so many data centers attached to it. Are you getting me? So now asking us which availability zone we are going to have. You see, only in North Virginia, we have how many availability zones? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We have 6 availability zones. So being that network we just have, we can divide it. So it has 6 availability zones. It's asking you, where do you want to put it? Is it US East 1, US East E? But most times we only use A because A is the first one. So it was asking you, how do you want to divide it? We already know we have 10 dots. Don't forget that your CIDR block must not be different from what you have. I always recommend people, you just copy this, copy and paste here so that you don't make mistake. Paste. Then instead of 16, because you have 16 already, you now divide it to 24. If you divide it to 24, it will work. But if you put 16, it will not work. If you put 32, it might not work. But 24 is the closest. Are you getting me? You put 24 because from 16, which is the main IP SATA block, you divide it into 24. So you can do 24. You can put 1 here. It will still work. But we are using 0. Are you getting me? We are using 0. You can still put 1 here. It can still work. Okay. SATA block 24. Then which key, which name? Okay, SBN. Then let's create VPC, create subnet. So it will create. So what does that mean? Meaning I can create 225 of that particular subnet. So I can create 20.0.0.1.0.2.0.3.0.4. You understand me? Into 200. So sorry, the network also threw us off again. Let's continue. So you can decide. You see, this is what we just created now. Subnet. Are you getting me? Of this. Are you getting me? So when you are in that VPC, that 20.0, you can see this subnet. So when we are launching our server, we launch server on subnet. Are you getting me? We launch server in the subnet. You don't launch server with your VPC. You launch server with your subnet. Are you getting me? Because a server is always in one availability zone. You understand? So let's create another subnet. This time I want you to tell me what number I should use. Let's call it the same 20.0. We know it's not standard. We know. But for POC, for training sake, for purpose of training, let's use it. Subnet again, let's call it Cloud A2. Abi 2. Then hyphen SB2. SBN2. You understand me? The availability zone. We use A before. You can put all your subnet in one availability zone. There's nothing bad in it. You know, it will not work, but it's not advisable. It's better you share your subnet in other availability zone, not in just one place. I can put this one here. It will still work. But let me put it in B. Then it's asking for the SATA block. Then remember we used 0 before. I cannot put 24 here. You cannot have the same. This one will not work because something is already using it. We cannot come here and put 1 here. Are you getting me? This one will work. But if you put the same thing, it will not work. Then you say create. You understand me? So from that 1 to 125, You understand me? 20.0.1, 20.2.3.10.20.200. For example, now let's create another one. Let's say the same VPC. Then let's come to which subnet. Let's name this one A2 Cloud A2 3 and SBN. Then it's asking for the CIDR block. VPC, the same let's put this one in C. Are you getting me? Then remember we have used 0, we have used 1. Let's use 200. It will still go. You understand me? It will still go. If you can use 200, you can use 255, 254. It will still go. What's going on? CIDR block overlaps. Existing CIDR block of 20. Okay. Oh, sorry. Remember I used 16. It's supposed to be 24. Remember I told you we cannot use 16 because the parents is 16. Are you hearing me? So when you are dividing the parents, you divide it to 24. It will go this time. But if you use 16, it will not go. And you understand me? Because you cannot divide a subnet into a VPC CIDR block. You understand me? So you can use 20.0.224.5, 250, 251, 252. When you now get to 255, there you can stop. But I don't always advise you go that far. After all, how many servers are you launching? Are you launching server for the whole world? You understand me? But don't use 20. So I want you guys to why I did this is because I want you to go on your own and do your practice. The time allocated for this class is almost over. If it's not over, are you getting me? It's almost over. You just have 3 minutes. But I want all of us that attended this class to go and create VPC and CIDR block for a standard IPv4. Are you getting me? Create as many as you can because we are going to be using it. You understand me? That does not mean you cannot create 20.200.0.24. You can still create 20 in your own system. It will work. It has nothing to do with my own. Are you getting me? As far this one is in my own network, it's my own cloud, in my own subscription. You can also use the same IP address. It will work for your own because we are in different cloud environments. That is the interesting thing about this thing. That's why we can even be training. I'll be using the same thing, you'll be using the same thing. It will work for you. But in my own network, as far as this zone is concerned, I cannot use this IP address again in this zone. I can use this IP address again in another zone. It will still work. But I cannot use it in this zone. So please, that is it. Then I think tomorrow we'll talk about how to make it. Right now, all the VPC, they are all private. They are not public. By tomorrow, we're going to talk about. Or should we add 15 minutes to it? 15 minutes will not be enough for us to talk about it. But let's just have extra 5 minutes. Is it okay by us? Hello?
Yes, it is.
If I had 5 minutes, I'm not going to be eating to your time. Okay. Maybe I'm not eating to your time. Let's add 5 minutes. Let's talk about a little more. Let's go a little bit deeper. Now we know how to create a VPC. We know how to create a subnet. Now another thing you should talk about is a route table. You see the word route. Route means if you are going to Oshodi, are you going to be? They will ask you which route are you going to follow. You understand me? So that way, that road that you create for yourself, that you navigate to yourself, are you getting me? That rule that binds the role on how to access. For example, you can be going to Ikeja. They will say this is one way, meaning this one way. You can only go, you cannot come back. Are you getting me? That's what route table is all about. Route table is about setting how people can enter and can come back. Are you getting me? And you create a route table for a subnet, not for VPC. You see how both of them are working now. Everything you are going to be working on is VPC. You know why? In subnet, because everything, your server, your resources, your network, your content delivery server is always going to be in subnet. So you are going to be configuring more of the subnet. So the only thing that can define whether your VPC is private or public is not the CIDR block. However, the way you design your route table and the gateway you attach to it. You understand me? So let's talk about route table. Now, when you are talking about route table, it's not telling you, okay, we have the route table is here. Okay, we have so many type of route table. For example, let's say, let's create a route table now. It's asking you what's the name are you going to call it? Let's say Cloud Enthusiast. Then we'll now say route table, ROTB. Then you will ask which VPC are you creating it on? It's going to be the same VPC we are doing, Cloud Enthusiast, this one. Are you getting me? Now, it will ask you, okay, add a tab. This is a route table. Okay, this is a VPC to which the route table will be attached. Okay, sorry. Route table, the same thing. Let's go. Let's continue. Let's go. Now, this route table has been created for that VPC, which is 20.60 and is active. Now, when it's active, which subnet will you attach to it? How are you going to associate the subnet? Because I remember I mentioned that the route table is basically on subnet. It's associated to subnet. But you create it, subnet is under a VPC. A VPC has a subnet. I get a subnet, you can attach a route table to a subnet.